Okay, so first, a very heartfelt thank you very much to the Hollenshead family and to CEW for this award. I have very fond memories of Carol. So being a solo person in an organization, how to survive and create change, makes me wonder how I can get you all think about a situation where you are a solo person, then walk with you through what I think I learned since February 1990 when I started in the dental school, and come out at the end wondering what else would be there that makes our life easier, because I'm pretty sure that everybody in this room, it resonates with you when we talk about being a solo person in a situation. So here I was being a solo person in the dental school, being the only psychologist, and two things that solo persons basically face on a daily basis is devaluation. One of my senior, very esteemed colleagues said, "You Tutsi, what do you know about dentistry?" after I was hired. And exclusion. I'm the only faculty member who lives in the basement since 1990. And while that had some advantages, when I had little kids and needed to get out more often than they most probably wanted me to get out, it's definitely a sign of being a solo person that you are not included in most of the things that the majority is kind of passionate about. What helped me? 3 strategies from a wonderful social psychologist that nobody in the US knows, because sorry to say he was French or Romanian and lived in France and wrote everything in French. And those 3 principles were that you have to be persistent, you have to be consistent, and you have to keep up your kind of sense of positive self-esteem. How can we improve? When I think about persistent, from very early on in my childhood, growing up with an aunt who was sterilized by the Nazis because she was not without disabilities, I always kind of thought about how can we improve the situation for people with disabilities. I went to the dental school and I was very persistent, and I started to think we have to do more education-wise, and not just with the students, but with the faculty, especially the clinical faculty that treat these patients and show the students how to do it. Since January 2002 till now, we organized 157 monthly free continuing education courses with now over 15,000 participants about providing care for patients with special health care needs with disabilities. I will do this till I retire. What does Moscovici think about when he says we have to be consistent as a minority, as a solo person? How can we improve the situation for patients with special health care need and or from other backgrounds? And again, my answer always was provide the message in teaching, service, and in research. Keep it consistent in your whole life. Teaching, since '94 we have an orientation now that I give for the dental and the dental hygiene students where I introduce them to this topic. We take them to the African American History Museum on the 2nd day of their orientation. And from the moment they come to the dental school, we talk with them about what it means to be a healthcare provider that treats diverse patients. The service, in addition to those continuing education courses, we have monthly getting to know you sessions. We have a multicultural mirror 3 times a year. And so we try to weave in the dental school this all throughout the culture to be consistently thinking about these questions. Research, my research, about a quarter of my publications are exactly about this topic in dental education and dental settings since 1997. And with a positive perspective, that got me to realize that I have 3 things that I appreciate tremendously. The 3 lessons learned are, first of all, that leadership is crucial. Think back 1990. We had a fantastic dean that was very supportive of the things that I value. We had others in between, that were not supportive. And now we have one that is fantastic. And that made me realize how grateful I am when we have supportive leadership, and we as a university should be very grateful for our president. Building effective coalitions is a must. Whatever we achieved, I'm just the tip of the iceberg you see here, because nobody could do this alone. We have a wonderful supportive group of staff, especially of faculty members in the Multicultural Affairs Committee, of students. And so building an effective coalition when you are a solo person is an absolute must. And finally, believe in your work and find meaning in your work, and never forget that. When I look at this is 1933, just before everything broke together in Europe. And Margaret put this kind of easel in front of the window and said, we have to capture the human condition. We have to do that. We have to look out there, and we have to document, and we have to respond to it. And hopefully we capture many, and we are able to make the world a different place when we do that. On November 14, I would be happy to see many of you in a workshop where we can talk about these issues more. So, 3 strategies, 3 lessons learned. They helped me survive as a solo person. They resulted in concrete steps in teaching, service, and research, and hopefully in some positive change in the lives of some others.